Should be live. Welcome everyone. Our Dental Tech Talk every Friday, at least I'm not traveling. And we have today Mo Whitlock as a guest. We want to chit chat a little bit about the Matic. And we've worked together at Montgomery for a long time, so it's a pleasure having him on here. Thank you for coming on. Every time happy if I'm running into you somewhere. He's a wealth of knowledge. He has installed several of those and trained so many people on the Matic that I'm sure he can tell us, his opinion and what has changed over the past, and just his take on it. Mo, do you want to introduce yourself, maybe?
Sure. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me. Mo Whitlock, product specialist for Amon Gerbach, as well as trainer. Been with AG now for going on 7 years. Worked a lot with Richard, worked a lot with Holly and with Opulent, and so I'm glad to be here to help out and answer any questions and talk shop. So thanks for having me on and inviting me to join you guys today.
That's awesome. And it's Friday, so yay, TGIF. Hopefully everybody finished their cases and their work, and then we can get out of here and into a long Memorial weekend, right? Hopefully everybody has off on Monday and get some friends and family over, some barbecuing. I don't know what you're doing, but I guess that's hopefully what you're doing. Let me pull up. I don't want to bore you with slides too much, but I want to share my screen here just for a split second so we can talk about the Matic's key features here just for a brief moment. And that in specific, and those are the only 2-3 slides I kind of want to show you, and because I don't want to take your words out of my mouth. So Mo, why don't you explain us what is this and why the Matic and where does it make sense?
Richard,
Okay.
I don't know if you have the right screen up, just so you know.
Oh, is it the wrong one?
Yeah, I'm seeing it's a desktop. I'm seeing the desktop, but
is it this one? Oh yes, it is this one. Thank you. It was the wrong screen. How do I fix this? Change the stop it for a second, and let me share the screen one more time. That's the one. Okay, awesome. You should see it now. That's the slide I'm talking about. Right? Automation and what is it actually doing? What is automated? And hopefully folks already know about it, but Mo, why don't you help us?
Yeah. So what you guys see on this screen for automation, anyone that's ever worked with a mill, it's pretty easy to detect the point that there's a bottleneck or the most time spent, and it's usually changing the puck. Every time you have a shade, you have to change the puck to put a different puck in. If you're doing a different material, you're doing a lot of work back and forth between wherever you're storing that material and the Matic, and the mill that you have. So how the Matic affects that is you can store with the capacity of the Matic of 35 holders. You can store your material in the mill, and it's automated to where if I'm milling zirconia, it doesn't matter what shade, I load them all into the Matic. I can have wax, I could have zirconia, I could have denture material, I can have blocks. All that back and forth of what you see on the picture to the left is eliminated. So what that is time, it's efficiency. I tell folks it's like adding another lab tech because the mill is doing all of that manual labor that just takes time. So that allows that person to do other things.
Yeah, but I can attest to that. I've worked with both Motion 2 and the Matic in the lab environment. And what also happens, and what is not even showing up in here, is the mill stops and you're doing something else. I've been wearing noise canceling headphones, many times. I had my music listened, did something completely else, and I wouldn't even realize that the motion 2 had stopped. So it's just sitting there without actually doing anything when the Matic would already continue working. And not to even say overnight milling. We have milled plenty of cases there overnight on the Matic. One thing was done, next plug in, and there you go. Right. All right. I have a couple of the key points. What I thought are the key points on it. Auto calibration is amazing. If now the motion 3 is available with auto calibration, I think that's fantastic because it takes all that getting on the phone, doing test cubes, measuring, and all that stuff away. I let you maybe talk a little bit more about the self-cleaning and some of the other features, because why are you otherwise here if I'm still
Yeah, the self-cleaning is one of the things that really sets this machine apart from the competitors, because literally it looks like the inside of a car wash when it's going from wet to dry. It's cleaning the inside. There's water coming out of the spindle. There's a video on YouTube, if you guys have a chance to see it, that really shows truly what cleaning means. We're not talking about anti-static or any of these other features. We're talking when it comes out of that mill and deposited, it is clean. And if anybody that's milled PMMA before, if you've done that on a single unit mill or even a multi-changer, you have a nice pile of subtractive residue, for lack of a better term, left over that you have to physically clean out every time. And customers who've seen that mill, we'll mill it live, and then they see that the inside's clean. They can't believe it, and it's because of the cleaning function. So that's a huge feature that really sets it apart. And it's really an exciting part of that mill. And again, it goes back to automation, efficiency. Instead of that technician cleaning that out, it's already doing that for them.
Right. And because it's a bigger machine, it used to already do chromium cobalt, but now you guys are releasing titanium very soon, right? When is that going to
Yes, we are actually now in the stage where it's the strategies are done. So we're at the point now. This was 2 days ago where R&D has reached out to a few of us, suggesting which blanks they need to release. Or should we release, which ones you think are most popular for our customers. So we're at the final stage. I'm very excited and ready to start get my hands on it and mill it myself too. So exciting stuff coming. Yep.
That's awesome. And I'm guessing it takes a new set of burrs, probably different than the chromium cobalt burrs, I would assume, right? And the main purpose is, at least for me, I don't know what other people want to do with it, but I would jump on a multi-unit abutment bar with then a superstructure on it, right? I would
Exactly. And that's where it's at. That's where, and it's actually changed my mind on milling metal. Before that, some of my experiences I've had with different mills that milled metal, it did so much, not damage, but just you always needed to realign things. It just never seemed the same after milling metal. So I've always thought, let's just send that off to companies that's all they do. But being able to mill a few here on the Matic and see how clean it comes out, I'm excited. I'm really excited for it to come out.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I know this is not on here on this slide, but let me go to this one here. I know there's a holder coming up for the Motion 3, the C clamp, right? That will be eventually available for the Matic.
Yes, Matic is number 2 in line. The first release will be the Motion 3, and then the Matic will be followed up. It's getting the mass producing the holders now. It's already done. We just need to get the holders ready for it. So it's
that's perfect. Glad to hear that. And then I'm assuming that could replace my 98 holders, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
even if I'm not using the strategy for it, I guess what I'm trying to say is I've seen a bunch of people, they have had Maddox installed and they didn't really know what kind of direction they're going to go with it. So they didn't buy all the holders to fill up 36 minus the calibration one.
Yeah.
And if there now is maybe, I don't know, 1098 holders and they are realizing now they need some more, they could just buy 10 C clamps, right?
See, exactly. That's a good point. I'm glad you mentioned that, Richard, because we've had customers that initially see the Matic and they're like, you know what, I don't need that much. I don't need 36. I'm a smaller lab. And I always say, listen, you don't need to buy all 35 holders up front. You can buy 10. And then when you're growing or you've reached a point, I said, one customer said, do you plan on growing? He goes, well, of course. And I said, well, then this Matic is ready for your growth without you having to go now and purchase another mill. I said, so if you buy 10, it's a 10 changer. And then if you need, if you're growing and you double, well, you got a 20 changer already ready for you. Just have to buy holders, not a new mill. So I love that part about how we can customize it for our customers. It was exactly what they need. We got big labs that'll buy the whole thing fully loaded, smaller facilities that just, they need 10, but we can customize it for them. As well as Optima.
Thank you. Yeah. Tell me maybe a little bit more about the RFID. I think there might be other mills out there with RFID holders, but maybe not the tools, right? I don't know.
On which one? On the
what's the RFID doing for?
Oh yeah, so the RFID. What I like about it is that traditionally with mills, as soon as you take that tool out of the mill, there's no way to tell how much you've milled, what's the tool abrasion. And once you start getting confused with tool abrasions, you're milling things that the tool may be dull and you not know it. You know what I mean? So with the RFID, there's two main purposes. Number one, I can take that out of the mill and put it on the counter, and a month later I put it back in. It's going to know exactly the amount of work that's been on that tool. And the second thing is that it allows me to put that anywhere on the holder. So for all the millers out there, certain tools need to be in certain slots and you can't put them in, you get an error message. And if you put a tool in the wrong place, calculate a job, walk out the door, but you had the tool in the wrong spot, guess what? Nothing's getting milled. With the RFID, the spindle will go and grab the tool it needs no matter where it is on the holder. So it's kind of a cool little, increases in technology that helps the customer.
Yeah, and with the blanks too, I remember when I used it, maybe the mill was done with one job, but it wasn't convenient for me to go grab it or change to another puck or whatever. And the next time I had a chance to do some hands-on work, I saw a little flashing LED on 3 different holders telling me it's ready. Well, yeah. I grabbed all 3 of them.
Yeah,
cut them all out, and then just they don't have to go back where I picked them up from, right? They just go anywhere.
Yeah, and it's funny. Almost every install that I've done, even after explaining to a customer that there's a chip on that holder, so you don't have to put it in the same spot. Yeah. Every single time they'll mill something, we'll take it out, we'll cut it out, and they go, "Oh, Mo, I forgot where I put that last." I said, "Oh, well, this is flashing, so this is telling you where it was, but put it anywhere you want and close it. It's going to do an inventory and it's going to locate the new location." And then they just look at me, you know what I mean? So that is a great feature that you can put it anywhere you want. You don't have to remember. So.
Yeah. So let's see. Maybe here we can see a little bit more what's actually going on in the inside. Can you tell us a little bit more about how does it do that cleaning? Why does
Sure. Yep, I can tell you my personal experience. So when I first saw this diagram, and I was told it was like a conveyor belt where you had a paper roll and material would fall down and the roll would carry the material away. My first thought was, well, we're going to be changing those rolls every 5 minutes. You know what I mean? But there was some very smart R&D people who put this together where if you guys can see that orange ball in there, as debris comes down, there's water is going to cycle through or filter through that paper. there's going to be a certain point where it can't filter enough, and then it'll build and the water level will rise, and that'll trigger that ball, that'll lift the ball to trigger the belt to move. What's unique about that, the belt's not moving not all the time, and it's saving your, your paper, and it only moves it when it needs to, and then it moves it and deposits it into a waste bin. So it's a beautiful thing to mill 5 PMMA arches and just have it sitting in a waste bin instead of scooping out from from inside the mill. So very smart how it was made, very efficient. And like I said, time saving is a big thing, huge.
And maybe you can fill in a little bit of the blanks what I have, and maybe some other folks out there have the same questions and things. If you know me a little bit closer, then you probably know that I worked for 12 years at AG, but I left there. I'm up in CAD/CAM right now. I worked in a laboratory for 8 months, and whenever I moved this and used this equipment, that's what I'm saying. And I just recently got hands on the latest software. I remember, I know the software has come a long way, because I remember, some of the things weren't quite fine-tuned and detailed in the beginning when it came out. And what was that, 2020? But now it's already 2.5 years later. What has changed since?
So you know me, Richard. I'm not good at what's the word, filtering or making things up. So I'm going to be 100% honest. When it first came out, it was exciting. It was new. It was a completely new mill on the market, and there was a little bit of growing pains in the beginning. With any new mill or piece of equipment, just like a new car, when you change same model, but you come out with a brand new car, there's a little bit of work. And our team, I tell you what, from the beginning till now, it is amazing how hard that team has worked and updated this. I get excited seeing what's coming new. And what I mean by the updates, in the beginning, it was more, updates to make this function better.
Yeah. And
now it's more improvements to make it more efficient maybe on a digital realm. I'll give you an example. I'm big on maintenance. When I train customers, I'm like, you can have the greatest mill in the world. If you don't take care of it, our repair guy is going to be back here. And that's been true for every single mill I've been involved with. It's not a coincidence that most of the time when I'm visiting somewhere or we're repairing something, it's not in the best condition. You know what I mean? Not to blame everything on, you know what I mean? It is what it is, but one of the things that on the latest update was where we have videos on the screen of exactly what we need our customers to do. Because what happens a lot of times is we'll train a customer, and you know this, Richard, you're doing that. You taught me half of the stuff I know. So when you train a customer and you show them something, they may not actually do it for 6 months. And so at the 6-month point, they probably forgot half the stuff they told you, because we're giving them so much information anyway. I love the fact that on the Matic, when it's time to do maintenance, they press a button up here. It shows a video. It walks them through step by step as if one of us was right there. So that part of it, that's what I mean by when they're improving, they're not, it's not like a retrofit or changing this or we found this, they've worked that out. That's finished cooking. This is more, how do we help our customer even more? And being able to press a button and watch a video has been huge for our team and our customers.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome. We met a couple of minutes before the 5 minutes or whatever before the presentation now started, and I had to ask myself, well, actually, I have personally used it with ExoCAD and with Ceramil, with both of it. But I had to ask myself, would it work with the chairside software from ExoCAD? But of course, the answer is yes, right? I mean, ExoCAD spits out an STL file. It spits out an STL file.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'm not using Dental Rings, but if you're using Dental Rings, it spits out an STL file, right? So it should do that all, right?
Yeah. I keep it really simple when customers, they'll be like, hey, can I send this? I said, If it's an STL, our software will bring it in. It does not discriminate. It's an STL, then doesn't care where it comes from, even dental wings. So
I think that the dentures may be a little bit more complicated, but other than that, I think you can import pretty much anything you want, right?
yeah, it even now, even better now. The latest update in our software that just, I think it was maybe a month ago. We have another workflow now that's more a generic import for third party, and it reads it instead of looking for one specific denture, you know, work. There's a third party. Yeah. I'll have to show it to you when we get offline. I'll show it to you. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. That is cool. Maybe we can actually make a complete other topic out of that. I mean, maybe it's like 30 seconds. We have to find something else, but that is cool. I definitely want to learn about that.
Yeah,
it's great. What about some fun memories or stories? Do you? I mean, I vividly remember, some of those. I have, some of the pictures of in this presentation, but I don't want to hog the time when we have you here as a guest. Do you have some fun stories from installing those or training people or?
Yeah, I got one. I got one pretty interesting one, and it's where, when we do our site surveys, right? So for those out listening, what we do is before we install this, we have to go out and do a visit and evaluate how we're going to get the Matic from the truck to the final position. So I'm in Brooklyn, which already tells you there's not much room. We're in a place that the customer had to do a lot of maneuvering just to get it to the stairs, to get it down the stairs. So imagine you're tight for space. You're looking at almost a ton weight moving this. Imagine going down 45-degree steps around the corner into like a basement of a building. So I show up and I'm telling them, and I'm like, this is not going to work. And there's like, yes, it will. It will work. Yes, it will. And I'm like, okay. But I'm explaining all the things required. They're like, yeah, we'll take care of it. So we get there, the movers are there with me, and they see, even though I've given them all the information, they go, impossible. This is not going to work. So I called the owner. I said, listen, they're saying they can't do it. He's like, Mo, and it's New York, typical he goes, tell them to leave. I'll call you back in an hour. So I'm like, I guess you guys can go, An hour later, 6 guys, all of them about 5'10", they look like Popeye, man, show up, and they carry the Matic down these steps around the corner with just the 4 handles. And it blew my mind. After that, I was like, okay, this thing can go just about anywhere after what I saw it make it through.
Right out of the cold. Do you remember roughly what it weighs? I mean, I forgot, to be honest, but it's a heavy beast.
It's close to a ton. You know what I mean? I don't remember the exact numbers. I can probably pull them up, but it's close to a ton. And I was stunned. I was like, okay, I don't want to run into these 6 guys, and I'm a big guy, but they got it done, man. It was amazing. It was crazy. So now I think we can get it anywhere after seeing it go where this thing was. So if you ever have Klaus on, you have to ask him about it, because he went there too. So.
Awesome. Yeah, I have something similar with my friend Albert. He's in New York as well, and we measured everything. Does it fit in the lift and all of that stuff? And we like closed one eye and looked with the other eye at the weight limit of the lift. And we said, okay, yes, the lift is the only way we're going to do the lift. And I remember we rolled it in, and the lift kind of sagged down a little bit.
Yeah.
And we're going up, and coming out of the lift, suddenly there's a guy just hanging out in the hallway. He's like, we're like, oh, can we help you or something? And he's like, well, you called the lift, right? So I don't know if the lift actually automatically calls a maintenance person or how that works. But we got it into place, and as far as I know, Albert loves it, and we might actually get him on here on another day.
Nice.
So he can tell us about that story in
nice.
another detail. What else did I forget? Did I forget anything? Like
I think we covered just about everything on it. All the new stuff coming out with the holders and titanium.
Yeah. I remember. I do have another question. I do remember. Like years ago, when I was like, okay, we might have this, we might have that, we might have that. There was some talk about eventually getting an app, and I don't really care because I remote into my computers from anywhere or using whatever remote connection you want to do, TeamViewer, AnyDesk, or what have you, remote desktop, Google Desktop. So it doesn't really matter much. But wasn't there a plan about like an app? Is that still a thing?
Yeah, they're so right now, even with the AG store, right? They're trying to tie all that in as far as an app, whether you want to access it on the web or even on the Matic touchscreen. The biggest hurdle last time we heard was just trying to make sure if, for example, an Opulent customer orders something on their mill, because it'll be a touchscreen on the mill. If they order something on the mill, then it goes automatically through you guys because it's your customer. That's what they're trying to. I know that's some of the things they're trying to work out is to make sure that's smooth and make sure it's right. If you've been AG 12 years, it may take us a while to come out with something, but we try to make sure it's ready when it does come out. So we'll see how it goes. I'm excited because, like I said, an app would be awesome to track the mill. Awesome. Right now I'm team viewing in, to the one in Charlotte. I'll team view in and check out the camera and see if I'm something. So go from there.
Exactly. Yep. Cool. I'm glad
exciting stuff.
A thing because I think that will be awesome.
Yep.
Being able to do that. And the other thing, maybe what we haven't really touched much on, but what I use quite a bit there is the sorting feature in the queue, which now thankfully also comes to the Motion 3, right?
Absolutely.
You can't really on the Motion 3. I don't know how much sense it actually makes because we don't have the puck changer. But at least we can feed more jobs in the same puck into the thing on the Motion 3.
Exactly.
On the Matic, you can sort it. You throw it, I don't know, you throw 20 jobs at the Matic at the queue, and then you hit sort and you say sort them by
wet, dry,
by wet, or dry, or whatever. Look for patient name and pull this one all the way up and that this mill the next. I thought that was awesome.
I think where it's going to help even on the Motion 3, even though it's a single, is that when you send all those jobs over, it eliminates that mistake of putting the wrong puck in. Right on the screen, you're going to have which puck should be in there on the screen, the job that should be milling. I think that just helps, because now you don't have to wait. It's already queued over there. You're basically changing the material and press and play.
I have sat countless times in front of the Motion 2. I love that mill. Countless times sat in front of it and like looked at my clock and looked at the timer on the computer because I knew I needed to swap the puck before I can get out of there.
Yep.
And this is the longest 5 minutes of my life.
I know. I love
that on, right?
Exactly. I love being able to load that up because when I'm milling samples in the office or testing, we load it up. And when we're in Charlotte, we're usually only there a couple days. I'll load that thing up and walk out the door. And it's so nice having all that ready when I come back.
Is that going to be available? The Move software with that queue for Motion 2, maybe at some point?
So, the Move for everything?
Well, the queue feature, I know now it's on the Matic for sure because Motion 3 it's advertised. Will it come on the Motion 2?
That's what we've been told is eventually. I don't know if I'm supposed. I might get in trouble. Eventually, everything is going to go through Move. All of our equipment is going to be run through the Move software, which again, like I said, I love the Move software and the functionality of it. So I don't know how that's going to turn out. I mean, how long it's going to be, but what I've been told is eventually it'll all be that Move software control and everything.
I love that is still the plan, but that was my understanding, a while back, and I love that's still the plan. And from when I was there, it was always at least the attempt there to bring the new functionality, whatever R&D came up with, and adapt it to the old equipment.
Exactly. Yeah.
If possible somehow. If the hardware and whatever is capable of, then you usually get it. So that's great. Glad to hear.
Yep. Yep.
Cool. Then I think that's a wrap, right? Let's go barbecue.
Hey. Thanks for having me, man. This is fun.
Thank you for coming on. And
all right.
Everyone enjoy their long weekend and have fun, guys. Well, thank you for being here.